Go.
Oh,
The what?
I saw
The
that.
Jeep Bronco.
It's the Jeep Bronco Sport. You didn't see it?
A what?
What?
The Bronco what?
I'll look it up right now.
Jeep Bronco. What the fuck?
It's a fucking electric Jeep Bronco, dude. Just wait. I can't believe you haven't seen it.
Oh, you're talking about the Recon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, wait, what the fuck? Yeah, the doors come off and everything.
I was like, I saw it. I was like, that must be the new Bronco. Oh wait, never mind. That's a Jeep.
Oh wait, yeah, that's.
Okay.
Damn.
We're gonna roll right into it.
Straight biting that style right there.
3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, it is 6:30 on Tuesday night. We are live on YouTube on Tuesday nights. Are we live on YouTube? I'm not checking.
We
so
are, we
okay.
are.
Thank you, Jose. We are live on YouTube. Usually we start the show with a guest, but our guest is going to join us a little bit later. I won't say who it is, just in case he ghosts us.
It's the title of the show.
Oh, it is the title. So Kevin Jones is supposed to join us at 7:00 if he can find time. We can pull it off. So Casey just brought up what he's referring to as the Jeep Bronco, the all-electric Jeep Bronco. And Jose didn't understand what he was talking about, but he's talking about the new Jeep Recon. So you did see the Jeep Recon?
Yeah, but I didn't even think about even comparing the to a Bronco Sport. But now that you mention it, yeah, it's like Ford and Jeep. They're like, hey, send me all the plans.
If they had a baby,
Right? Hey,
It's
can
like,
you help
hey,
me out? Project?
Can you do me a solid on this one? Just send me all the blueprints for the Bronco Sport.
We'll instead of horizontal
Yeah.
lines on the front, we're gonna do vertical, so it's totally different. I'm curious to know the
How many orange highlights are inside?
Oh, let's
They didn't really.
there's a
What video was that?
That's the Recon video, but
They didn't really show the inside, right? They kind of just showed it with the doors off and shit.
let me see. I'm gonna look it up right now. But it is very Bronco Sport ish. What's the Casey? Do you know what the dimensions look like if compared to the Bronco Sport?
I thought it was. I think it's probably like in between the Bronco Sport, and the Bronco. To me, it seemed like it was closer to the actual Bronco size.
I mean, they're going all in on this 4xe shit.
It's working.
So I think it looks like it has more ground clearance than like a Bronco Sport, and bigger tires.
Yeah, it says it's a new mid-size electric Recon inspired by Wrangler. Jeep says the mid-size Recon inherits characteristics from the Wrangler. Removable doors, quote, impressive approach and departure angles. The Recon also shares Wrangler's boxy shape and rear-mounted spare tire.
No, it doesn't.
But yeah, I don't see anything about the dimensions of the Recon.
Nothing about that to me makes me go like, oh, that looks kind of like a Wrangler.
I would agree.
The 7-slot grill, sir. Excuse me.
All right.
To me, this is what the next iteration of the XJ should have been. So this is what the Cherokee should have been instead of the
like a shoe,
yes.
like a Converse.
Yes, if we flash back to 2000,
But I like Converse. I like
18.
those shoes. The Converse All
Those
Stars.
fucking things hurt my feet.
Yeah, but they don't.
But they look cool.
yeah, I can't wear Converse.
Oh, dude, yeah. It's like,
not
I
anymore,
have to go Skechers now, like Howie Long.
dude.
You can't do any athletics in those shoes.
Dude. Oh,
I can't do any athletics.
let alone in those shoes.
I did my brakes last week. That was all my athletics I'm capable of now.
Tammy bought Presley a new pair of Vans, and Presley did the full on hold on, Daddy. Let me see if I can run fast in these. And she got in the
Nice.
walked to the end of the kitchen and ran all the way down the hallway to make sure that she could run fast in her new.
If there's stripes on them, you can't.
They're rainbow checkers, rainbow checkered high tops.
I'd have to check like
Yeah.
the spec book to see if that qualifies. But there could be some other like special abilities that she has gained by that. I don't
Yeah.
know, but I know stripes on her shoes,
I'm trying to
the Adidas
emulate
stripes.
checkered flags.
Okay.
Racy.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to the Recon, I honestly think that this could have been the Cherokee. This is the Cherokee that should have been instead of the Cherokee that we have now. If this came out as the XJ replacement with your standard motor at the time, I think that would have been way more well received than the XJ that or the Cherokee that's out now.
Yeah.
Is
the
it IRS?
Yes.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, it's just independent all around.
Um,
The Cherokee now is just too plain.
Yeah. There's one in my neighborhood that's got, like a 2-inch puck lift, 31, 32-inch mud terrains, a roof rack and rooftop tent, and a spare tire carrier. It looks awesome. They did a great job with it, and I've tried to track them down anytime I see them.
It's never hit the dirt.
I don't know. It looks like it has. It does look like it has. But so let's see. What article is this from? Carbuzz. Carbuzz is saying that the Recon is expected to come in at around 55,000 base MSRP.
What the?
Before options. So
Oh, it is fully EV.
fully electric, right? Oh, here they go. Here's the dimensions. We don't have official facts and figures regarding the dimensions of the Jeep Recon, but those in the know tell us that it's very similar size to the Wrangler. Despite being a different package entirely, it has comparable measurements. The Jeep Wrangler 4xe has a length of 188.4 inches and 73.8 inches wide and stands just over 73 inches high. So it's going to be big. It's bigger than the Bronco Sport. It's
Yes, I'm saying it's closer to the Bronco.
closer to a Wrangler or a Bronco size. That's interesting.
Can you shove 35s underneath it or what?
No. Well, with the Sawzall, you can do anything.
Yeah,
That's
and
true.
a creative mindset.
Yeah, be open to ideas. But it looks like it has 33s on it, 31s, maybe 33s on their Rubicon package or whatever they're name it. But I mean, let's think about who this is for again. We go back to there's the Wrangler and the Bronco, and then there's the Bronco Sport and the Cherokee, and this kind of fills that gap in between the two with an electric motor. So if
He said fill the gap with an electric motor. It's funny. Sorry. It's funny. It's funny to me.
if
Look, Casey liked it.
Hitachi.
if you
See?
I said electric motor, not electric tool,
See?
not electric tool. If you want
The all-new Jeep Hitachi.
if you want a mid-size SUV that's electric, that has some trail capabilities, maybe this is right for you. I don't. How many people have a mid-size SUV now that aren't going to go anywhere near off-road, right? I mean, all of the Trailblazers and any of the Kias and
I don't know if you've
Hyundais.
seen the new Blazer, but it is not a Trailblazer.
Well, the new Blazer too. The new Blazer is a
It's just
pavement princess.
I don't even think they come in all-wheel drive.
Oh, really?
I don't think so.
What?
I mean, it's just a crossover now.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I mean, this
it's like
is
the size of a Rav4, huh?
Yeah.
this could they could find a really good niche here with a decent size SUV that looks rugged and has some trail clout because of the Jeep name and is all electric. I mean, I'm kind of digging the style. I think the style looks cool.
Hey, what do you guys think about electric motorcycles?
I'm into it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've not thought about it at all.
Are there like I don't know shit about motorcycles. Like, are there already some production ones that you can buy now?
Ton of them.
Are
Yeah,
there really?
Yeah,
like,
I think so.
Ton of them.
I rode one like maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
oh shit. I mean, I can only imagine they're probably so fucking fast because it's just instant torque.
Instant torque. And because
You're probably limited as far as top speed, though.
Not the one that I rode, but it was more of like a I don't know, like a sport tourer. I look at it resembled more of a dirt bike than it did like a crotch rocket or like a Harley or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it had 3 tires on it, and yeah, it's all the speed right now, and it definitely didn't back down. It went as fast as I asked it to through Big Bear, you know.
I'm looking for, here it is right here. So Con Media just posted this. They're starting to represent a company that's got I think he said it was a 75 mile per hour speed.
How come you took it off the screen?
Hold on, because I need to read it because I don't have my glasses on. So I'll put it back up in just a
those
second.
fancy fucking bifocals that were like.
But they're progressives, sir, and they're a pain in the ass to go back and forth with the headphones, and I gotta constantly do this with my head.
But you should be used to
You should
that.
stop.
Yes.
You should stop doing that.
So,
that was not a good look for you,
So Rivet,
right, Jose?
Well, you should be used to that.
Rivet Inc. has
I should be used to that.
No, he should.
Okay, all right.
Rivet Inc. RYVID has released the Anthem, an electric motorcycle with 75-mile range, top speed of excess of 75 miles per hour, weighing 240 pounds.
75 miles per hour?
Yep, that's what it says.
That's like first gear.
Yeah,
There's no gear, dude.
I'm saying on a
Yeah.
regular street bike, that's
So-
first gear.
so this is just an example of one that literally got released today, but there are plenty of them out there. And to Casey's point, in a 6-cylinder 600cc motor on the R6, you could do 90 in second gear.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
My expectation is some of these other electric, Zero is another one that comes to mind. But these electric motorcycles, I think, are also going to be, a viable option for.
I think street applications more than anything.
Yes.
Even though I've seen them, dirt. I've seen some dirt bike, electric dirt bikes. The amount of engineering that you get on like a Cowie or Honda or Suzuki, the way the suspensions are tuned with the motor and all that. Why would you, as long as you could still buy them, I would always go that way than whatever they're going to do with this. It just seems so out of the box to take that out in the dirt.
Well,
though it sounds
they're making them. I mean,
exciting, right?
Right
Potentially.
here, Zero Motorcycles is making
Look at that
every
one, dude.
every iteration of a motorcycle that you can imagine is being made by Zero. And there's a company that sells, and I meant to send it to you.
Hey, Zero, if you want, you give me one of those bikes, and I'll ride it.
I can only imagine an electric bike in the sand dunes.
Oh,
that
yeah.
has to be fucking crazy, dude.
The
250 pounds is 250 pounds, right? Because you would think like maybe an electric bike's a little heavier, but it's not. That's about right.
yeah. I'm sure
There's got to be a video of it.
An electric bike with paddles in the sand.
Yeah, you probably have huge paddles, but you'd probably loop it like.
yeah.
It'd be really hard not looping it at 50 miles an hour,
So this Zero says its top speed of 124, peak torque of 140, 60-minute charge time.
Curb weight 518.
518.
That's a street
That's
bike.
a street bike. That's
Yeah.
not uncommon.
The range is pretty good, dude.
187 miles. That's not bad. The downside, so that range is great, like comparable to a street bike.
If this is your everyday driver, that's great, dude. As long as you get to go home at the end of the day and charge it.
That's the thing. Like in my neighborhood,
Yeah.
in one of the shopping centers, they put all those Tesla banks, right? And we went there. We took Presley and one of her friends for ice cream, and there was like 7 dudes just sitting there,
standing around,
waiting
yeah.
for their cars to charge. You know what I mean?
that.
Like that would be the thing for me. If I was like, all right, I've got a commute and it's a total of 80-mile commute and I know I'm going to get home every night and be able to plug it in.
So
perfect.
That just reminds me, we signed up for solar this past weekend.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Nice.
And we don't have to discuss it, but I did bring up like, well, what if I wanted an electric car? This salesperson, she was very well informed and was like, well, how?
Okay,
what's your,
now I know why he
They
signed
got
up for
you, dude.
solar. Do you have
mean,
pictures of this salesperson?
yeah.
Because I know exactly why you signed up for solar.
Look, Monty
Was Monty there?
Monty was there. She was. I swear to God. I swear to God. But she
Do
was.
you even know what you signed up for?
She
I don't
wasn't.
know. She's coming back
Look.
tomorrow, though.
She's gonna come back and start cleaning the pool. But she did. I had asked, well, if in the future, because she had asked, here's what you used electricity, however kilowatts or whatever you used last year, in order to match that, because you want to be able to sell it back or cover that with your panels to Edison. We'll get you a couple extra panels, and then that way you'll have a credit or what have you. Do you intend on buying an electric vehicle or converting anything to to electric heat pump or whatever? And I was like, no, but what would how would that work if I did go to an electric car and I wanted to charge, and had that expectation? It's a lot. So if it was if we had used 11,000 kilowatts or whatever, considering how much I drive, 35 miles each way, 70 miles a day, it would be roughly 6,500 kilowatts a year to charge an electric vehicle, which is like, holy shit, that's like a third of my of what I'd use to power my house, which was like kind of crazy to think about. But
Is that shit worth it though? Solar, like, because you're gonna be paying monthly.
so yeah, I'm paying monthly. You know what I'm paying monthly for 15 years, or actually it's 20 years. I'm paying $240 a month. That's it forever. That's through summer.
Yeah, you're buying the flat rate.
Yeah,
forever.
but in
Because
winter and
actually-
stuff,
yeah.
you don't use that
No,
much.
Okay,
no, I know.
but
I
tell
still
you
buy.
what.
I still buy electricity from Edison. It's just it fluctuates. So during the summer, I earn so much credit that I'm given that credit as we go into winter, and then I don't receive a bill as I use
Yeah, but you
electricity
still have
in the
the
wintertime.
panel bill.
No, that's subsidized by the state. In
What
most
do you mean,
cases,
what do you mean panel bill?
Your solar bill.
the cost of the
200. Right, I get
Yeah.
30% credit for that. So yes, I'll get $15,000 or whatever it is back. That I'll get a tax credit for that.
I don't know. To me, it just seems like you stop paying Edison and you just start paying whoever your solar.
But
company is.
Edison can change the rates to whatever they want, and it doesn't affect me.
and Edison
And the power that I'm getting in anticipation of using more power if I want than this past year, which by far I've used the most electricity. I'm still saving $1,000 a year off of what I paid last year. It's $240 a month, period. And then once that's paid off, then it's free. It's like, again, when I told Monty about it, I was like, well, we bought our house a number of years ago. Our mortgage is now pretty effing cheap compared to if we
dude.
wanted to go.
Oh.
Well, that's my mortgage until I sell the house or until I'm done paying for it. Well, it's the same thing with this with electricity and solar. I've just locked in my basic rate per month, and it's less if we took the average and I just paid Edison, because we were thinking of doing that because we were getting hit hard with the pool and the electricity this summer and the AC running. We were getting over $500 bills.
Oh,
Sheesh.
Yeah, look, pools aren't cheap.
Try having two people work from home.
Yes.
It gets even worse. What is up, Kevin Jones?
What's up?
What's up, guys? How are you doing?
Good. Our off-road podcast is talking about solar panels. That's.
I did it. I ruined the podcast.
Thank you for saving us. I appreciate that. So,
How's Hammett?
yeah, let's get right into
Let's
it.
get right into the.
So,
Tell
There's
the
a
people.
real classy Motel 6 right there
So,
behind
It's really living up to all the hype you give it, Matt. I gotta say.
And what'd you find today?
I found a nice little crack pipe.
Nice.
and did it have Matt's name on it? Is that why you sent it to him? It's like it found,
I just-
returned to.
I just couldn't think of anybody that would enjoy it more than that.
Look how sad is our life here, where someone finds a crack pipe in a random city in Southern California, and they immediately go, Matt would like this.
Well, I'm not shocked that you found a crack pipe in Hammett. Like, you want me to tell you other cities that it's very common to find a crack pipe? Would you want me to tell you cities that I found crack pipes? Like, it's pretty easy.
No, I think we're good. So, hey, Kevin, backstory real quick. Kevin and I haven't told you guys this. I invited Kevin and his friends to come over and swim in the pool when they had a break at, and I told my wife,
Schmidt's gay.
I told my wife that, hey, a bunch of sexy firefighters are going to come over, and she cleared out her schedule and said she was ready to go.
You didn't tell me.
But they never showed up. So she's pretty disappointed with you right now.
Yeah. I think I remember it going down a little bit differently.
It was a little bit different conversation.
It's close enough.
So Kevin is currently in Hemet, California, which is not far from where we're at right now, doing what he does when he's not racing vehicles. So how is the firefighting going, man?
This one's out. It went out a couple days ago when it rained, which, I mean, that's a godsend for us. But there's a lot of stuff that's a lot of people think the firefighting thing is all sexy, but there's a lot of really, really mundane tasks that have to happen too. So we're here a couple extra days putting that mountain back together and kind of trying to leave it the way we found it, which isn't all that different than.
Didn't you find it burned?
Yeah. I found it on fire. You've already improved it.
Exactly.
Don't leave it how you found it.
I would like to quote one of Monty's greatest things
Yes.
she's ever said in her life is because we moved my mom out to Hemet, like, I don't know, 15 years ago or whatever. And she said, God, Hemet looked like that town in Indiana Jones 4 that they wanted to nuke and drop a bomb on to see what happened, and then decided to save money on the bomb, and people just started moving in. It's the town they wanted to bomb.
It's not good enough to bomb. So I got to assume that during the process of fighting the fire, with the trucks and the tools and the equipment and all that stuff running around there, like you're talking about now, that's the aftermath of collecting all that stuff, cleaning all that stuff up, walking around and making sure everything is for sure put out. Yep. I mean, after a fire is, quote, out, how many more days are you guys on site to before you get to go?
Yeah, I mean, it depends, but if we don't go home tomorrow, I'll be really surprised. But, it wouldn't be the first time in my career I've been surprised either by this whole production. But, yesterday we pulled out like 15,000 feet of hose that had been put in by different crews. And then you get some random stuff throughout the day, like somebody's collection of items in their shipping container had a slow smoldering fire, and that kind of got going again. And then there was somebody else that got stung by like a bee and had an anaphylactic reaction. So, I mean, you end up with these weird little situations that happen just because there's more people, in that environment than would normally be there. But like I said, the rain really put this one out pretty quick.
Yeah,
so
we just got
to pick up all the hose and get all the trash out of there.
You're in Hemet picking up the hose, dude.
There's plenty of hose to pick up in here.
You want to pick up some hose, go to Hemet.
You guys jump on those hose. It was like too easy for me.
How many days have you been in Hemet?
I think a week now, 8 days, something like that.
I offered to come rescue you last week. I was like,
you did?
Is he really? Yeah. We got him. Please, let's head out there. We got to rescue him. Does he know?
Are you expecting to go back home after you're done, or are you going to go someplace else?
I hope so, but I just heard another fire started up by Sacramento, so
Sacramento, no one really cares about Sacramento.
We the way it works for us is we're available for 2 weeks at a time, and then they'll rotate people out. So I technically have another week that I'm available before I would rotate back into normal fire station life.
Do they fly you out to the next location, or do you just
no?
Drive their rigs out
no,
there.
we drive.
I didn't ask you. I asked Kevin.
We
Do you not
they
see
don't
he fucking
we
took his
drive
truck
those
off
big
roading?
stupid. Yeah, we drive those big stupid fire trucks all over the state. So,
Wow.
yeah.
I don't know if it was on your post or but there was a like a fire engine on tracks like that was out there that looked pretty bad. Okay, you didn't get to drive that.
Yeah, not me.
My first thought was, oh, I bet Kevin would love to drive that thing.
No, he got his rig stuck. And
Yeah,
then
I
he
saw
unstuck
that.
it.
I saw that. Kevin Jones, off-road racer, got his fire
It
engine.
reminded me of the punch bowl.
Yeah, somebody.
I don't know if you guys remember. I got video.
of you helping someone get.
I
out
didn't
of the-
help anybody. I was up at the top of the dune drinking beer, enjoying myself.
I think Joey saved me
Oh,
on
that's
that
That's
one.
right. It was
He had,
Joey.
he had Megatron. What's my Frontier gonna do? You know.
Yeah.
just-
No, one of the other engineers on my strike team. He's like, I like how you base your driving decisions based on who's around you that can pull you out when you get stuck. And I'm like, yeah,
That's right.
Oh, but that's off-roading. It's the same thing. If you're by yourself, you're like, I'm going to take this route, but everybody's here. Let's go up there. Let's see what happens.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And I don't take chances when the fire's, really active and stuff like that. But once things have slowed down and we're much more in a mop up or, kind of rehabilitation stage, if there's an opportunity to learn what the equipment can do, I try to take advantage of it.
I like it.
How many? You mentioned strike team. How many guys are on your team?
Yeah, so a strike team is 5 fire engines and then one guy in like a Chevy Tahoe or Suburban or battalion chief. So I think we've got 20 personnel across that spectrum.
And will that strike team stay together as a like a module and go from fire to fire and fire?
As a strike team.
Yeah. So that's the increment. That's the increment. That's the way that they basically order us. So we stay in
You heard
that.
it here first, kids. You could order Kevin Jones. I'd like to place an order for a Kevin Jones strike
Kevin
team.
Jones strike team.
What? Does your strike team have a name or a number?
9322 Charlie.
All right. We got to come up with something better than
Yeah.
Asrex 1 is taken.
Yes.
that. I don't know. I've never seen another Asrex one since.
I'm so my fire engine. So I drive the engine, right? And then we also have a captain and a firefighter. The other 2 individuals on my engine are females. So I think the other engines in our strike team have nicknamed us the Broad Squad.
I'm surprised they didn't call you like Charlie
I'm
or
s-
some shit.
Yeah.
I'm surprised no one's called HR. Is that
Yeah.
the Broad Squad? How about we change Kevin Jones Ultra 4 Jones Racing to Broad Squad Racing?
Squad. Yeah.
I like it. No,
No.
You're not having
No, if it's got marketing appeal, I'm
Yeah.
game. You guys know the deal. I'm for sale.
That's
it. So your strike team, like you said, you guys have a week of availability, and then you'll
2
all-
weeks.
I know, but I mean one more.
2
week
total,
left.
1
Yeah.
left. Yeah.
And then you'll all go. Are you guys all from the same location, or is that strike team from various parts of the country?
Ours is just from our department.
Okay.
So we've got 5 engines that all look the same. They came from the same agency, but you do end up with strike teams that are comprised of 1 engine from each department if it's a smaller agency type of thing.
What does a day in the life look like when you guys are fighting a fire like that?
Hot.
Well, that's a good question, Jose. So at if it's a Cal fire run event, there's 2 basically types of fires. There's a federal fire, which would be in a forest, a national forest, and then there would be a Cal fire incident that would be on state land. So this one's a Cal fire incident. So they do briefing at 0700 every day. And so you typically hit the chow line at 0600 and you get the briefing at 0700, and then you should be out on your division or assignment about 0800. And then you work a 24-hour shift.
Holy shit.
Doing whatever you end up doing, putting in 15,000 feet of hose,
Can
taking
you
out
can you
15,000
opt
feet of-
out of the 24-hour shift? Like,
Can you
Uh,
split
look,
that
guys,
up?
I got
Can
a
you split
good
that up?
I got a good 7.5 hours in me. That's about
Yeah.
it. Then I'm gonna need a nap.
Yeah, we lobby with our unions for some breaks and stuff, but no, I mean it's all over the map. Like early on in a fire, it can be 24 hours of go. And then, as they wind down and stuff, it can be a lot more, downtime than go time. So you kind of put in the hard shifts early on, knowing and hoping that, as this thing winds down and things start looking good, that there's, a little opportunity to dig deeper in your lunch. So
at this point in your career, is there almost a, I don't want to say numbness to it, but like, I would imagine the first time you're out there and you see the fire, you're like, oh my God, we gotta get to it. And you're like freaking out. And then now you're like, okay, my shift starts at 8. I'll, somebody else is on it until 8. And then my shift starts at 8. I'll do my part. And then they do their part. And then I'm going to go take a nap. Like, is there, does your perception of like, does the anxiety or adrenaline dwindle as you get more experience?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mean to take away from it, and we can make all the jokes we want about Hemet and all this stuff, but I mean, for several people, I don't know the stats on this fire. People always ask you when you get on a fire, they want to know, how many houses burned and all that stuff, and honestly, you're so micro once you're there that I don't even know the news stories. I don't know the stats, so I don't even have the acreage and structures burned and all that. But, I don't want to make light that this was a tragedy for some people.
Oh,
they all are, that's
just leave the
certainly for
making
real.
leave the making light to me.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I'll find the stats.
Even if there's no structure or evacuations or anything like that, it's just a fire in the forest someplace. Even that's a tragedy because it puts people like you at risk. There's loss of land and all kinds. I mean, we make light because that's what we do. But you're absolutely right. It's it's serious and I'm sure you've learned to process that.
Yeah. No, you're right. And but yeah, after I'm creeping up on 2 decades of this as a career, and it becomes kind of the status quo for us is, hey, there's a fire and you go there and you do the best you can, and you make whatever impacts you can make, and and hopefully that affects the outcome in some sort of positive way. But these are big scale things. You don't have to watch a whole lot of news to realize it's more than one individual person can do on a fire engine. So we all just take our little piece and do the best we can with it, and collectively that's how these things go out.
And is that what so like when you get there, you talked about being micro focused, like are you like, okay, this is your zone and you're basically staring at a big red wall of flame and you like don't know how far away it is to the left and how far away it is to the right, you just go here?
Yeah. I mean, there's one of the hardest things to do is maintain good situational awareness, because you're quite possibly in the middle of the night or something, you're driving to somewhere you've never been, you've never seen. I mean, you think of all the research you do before you go do a trail run, and you're looking at all these routes and all this stuff, and you get there and you still make U-turns, right?
No.
So now you talk about just a couple hours notice and you drive, to Hemet as fast as you can to go make a difference. And you're on some back ranch road and, somebody says, go left at the white gate. And you're trying to piece it together in your head as quick as you can and use the best intel you've got and keep everything, as heads up as you can. And then when you've got an opportunity to engage, that you make good decisions and you keep people safe. And, it's pretty intense the first few hours, the first day, the stuff like that. But, we've learned through tragedies how to do it more effectively and safer.
How much support / guidance are you getting from the command center once you're deployed out to a specific location? Like once you're out there, are you out there other than radio? I mean, is there anybody monitoring it from a helicopter going, hey, watch out behind you?
Yeah, you get a bit of that. You get some air support. Most of the air support is just trying to make sure they don't crash into each other. But you can get some intel from the air. You obviously have way less aircraft at night, if any. But we kind of have this paramilitary thing where it's layers, right? So at a command center, there's, an incident commander, and then it breaks down into branches and then divisions. And then within a division is, maybe multiple strike teams. And so they try to create this paramilitary, matrix of incident command to where we all have somebody above us and hopefully that person knows a little bit more than you, but not always. So
That doesn't work like that here.
yeah.
And your strike, I'm assuming if you're going out to this area, your entire strike team is going with you. They don't split you guys up.
Yeah, we'll go out to a specific division. That's typically where your assignment will be. And a division could be, based on the size of the fire, it could be, a mile long, or, it could be 20 miles long. It just kind of depends. And then, that strike team leader, the guy in the Suburban, he'll try to decide what's, acceptable, span of control, and how far he can place his resources and still have good communications with them, and, be effective. And there's times we all have to work together. Like one of our first shifts here, we put in one big hose lay all together. And so we all worked very, very closely for that first shift. And then, maybe more in a mop up phase, we'll spread out a bit more, and we'll each kind of have, a mile of territory or something like that. So it's pretty fluid and flexible. Like, you really have to, we've got some baseline organization to us, but there's a lot of, every situation is different.
Oh, I'm sure.
Who decides where you're going? Like, they Hammett calls and they're like,
Well, I'll tell you.
give me strike team, broad squad.
I'll tell you who does. Jeff C in the chat room does, because he says that funny. He's when Kevin was talking about ordering, Jeff's the ordering guy, and he just checked in and said that Kevin's strike team is ordered through his agency. So,
Well, hook me up, Jeff. Give me some good stuff.
Stop sending me to Hammett, Jeff.
Stop sending me to
Hey, 'cause I was
Jeff,
looking up at the fire we had here. I was like, you know what this fire needs?
some
Kevin
Kevin
Jones.
Jones. I feel like Jeff is going to get a full swag bag of Ultra 4 Jones
Yeah,
swag in the future. Jeff's getting a ride
Jeff,
in
if
the.
you could,
Yeah.
if Jeff could slide into my DMs, I think we could do some.
I think-
We could work some deals.
Jeff's going to get a ride in the Ultra 4
Yeah.
car soon.
Yeah, whatever you can do to get me out of Hammett, buddy.
That's what I'm
Let's
saying.
have him.
He has a nice collection of crack pipes, though. So maybe if you're
That's
interested,
funny. That's
there's
funny.
some trading going, barter system.
Yeah, there's they kind of divide the state into north and south. So there's a north ordering point and a south ordering point. And, the agency I work for is in the southern half of the state. So we're primarily a south resource. But, if things get really bad in the northern region, we go there plenty too. So it's, somebody somewhere, Jeff apparently is playing, this giant chessboard, and they're moving all these little pawns around, and, we just go where we're told. But yeah, I just,
and
I
Jeff-
thought I was going to work for one day, and the phone rings, and hey,
Fucking Jeff.
load your shit. You guys are going to Hammett tonight. So,
just so you know,
And he
we met
immediately went,
Jeff. hold
fucking
on.
match.
We met Jeff through Mark, through Duty Driven, so they know
Oh.
each other. I met Jeff
Okay.
at Mark's wedding, so you gotta work the back angle with Mark, and then
Okay.
the front side with Jeff. So I think you
right.
got an in
What's
there.
going on here? What
Jeff,
kind of shenanigans
I'm
is
just
this?
saying.
But Jeff
Well-
is saying he works at Region 1, if that means anything to you.
yeah, that sounds like it's above my pay grade. It's like DEFCON 5 level clearance. Or something.
Do you guys ever get deployed?
Just so you're in case look, I'm very qualified to speak about DEFCON levels because I watched War Games. DEFCON 5 is like normal.
That's like
Oh.
right now, right?
Kevin. Yeah, we're at DEFCON 5 essentially right now. You get down to DEFCON 4 and 3, now it's time to start getting worried. 2 and 1,
Okay.
it's over, John.
See, I had it backwards.
You had it backwards. It's a
Five was
common
bad.
mistake.
Do you ever get deployed?
Guys like me and Jeff, we're very much aware of DEFCON levels.
Idiot. Do you ever get deployed to neighboring states, Nevada, Arizona?
No, we could. My agency sent some people to New Mexico really early on in the season, but that was mostly because the way the Forest Service. This is all stuff you guys don't even care about, but
No, we do care.
um,
And Derek says, I don't know who Derek is, but Derek says you just drive the truck. It's all above your pay grade. So apparently,
very true.
but
and I don't-
if that's
I
the
don't
case, dude, I would be even better with that because I'd be like, cool. No, I'll drive, and you pull up, and you'd be like, all right, guys, we're here. You jump out and do your thing. I'll keep the engine running.
Yeah, I don't even drive it that well. So no. Um, yeah, we the Forest Service is more of a seasonal resource, so they staff heavily during fire season and then pretty much like not at all during the winter. So if they have fires in the forest before they basically show up to work, they have to lean on a lot of state resources.
Mhm.
But
Have you
yeah, we typically don't.
have you seen, like, anecdotally
Forest circus.
anecdotally from a dumb air conditioning guy's perspective, it seems like growing up here in Southern California, there was always fire season, but the fires have gotten bigger and more often. I mean, is that are we seeing that? Is that accurate from your perspective?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm a red-blooded American that really struggles with, the concept of like climate change or whatever. But yeah, just in my, I think I've been doing this 18 years total now, and it's they start earlier and they go later.
Yeah, it seems like there used to be fire season in Southern California.
Yeah.
Now fire season is like 10 months of the year.
We sent a strike team to Bishop, California this February, and they would fight fire in the day, and then they literally had to drain the tanks and the pumps on the engines at night so the water didn't freeze.
Ooh. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's, I feel like those stories become a little bit more common to where, we've got fires during Thanksgiving, and apparently now we have fires in February.
Yeah.
So yeah, California is just, always on fire.
Well, I'm going to look at the positive side. Like, that's just that's work for you. It's just
It's-
opportunities to keep, your family
It
fed.
is, but man, it really cuts into race car season.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Oh,
Well,
true.
and that's so some of those hot shots, he like
You got to talk to Jeff and see if he can
yeah.
work
All right,
out
Jeff,
some deals.
I'm only available between the months
Yeah.
of
That's right. That's
But-
you got to butter up your boss. You
but
know, like
some of those contractors that it's year round. I mean, they're the entire Southwest. There's enough fire to keep them busy the entire
Yeah.
time. So with that, I mean, does vacation work the same way with you guys as it does normal people? Where you're like, hey, I've got vacation in February, and they're like,
There's probably blackout periods.
yeah. Like, so if there's a fire the first week in February, is there a chance you're going to get a call?
I would.
It depends on
I
how
don't-
his and Jeff C's relationship
Yeah.
goes
Yeah,
moving forward.
I'm pretty sure my boss isn't going to watch this, so I'm just going to say I'm going to call in sick if that happens.
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah,
You gotta
yeah,
get Jeff
no, I
C
mean,
to
you
say, send
you can-
everybody but the Broad Squad.
You can really.
Oh shit.
Yeah. We'll just say we're on our period that week.
I know somebody else that shouldn't be listening to this
Oh
episode.
man. Oh.
You know what? If it helps, Cody could just set the Ranger on fire somewhere out in Hammertown. Then
Be like,
we can call in the
we need
strike
to happen
team.
on its own.
Hey, we need
Yeah.
the Broad Squad to come out to
Put out this
King of the
fire.
Hammers to help. So the speaking of race car season, how are you
Yeah,
doing?
let's get into the good stuff.
How are
now.
you doing? With,
Yeah.
How are you
Yeah.
doing?
Enough of that.
Yeah.
Enough of that boring fire shit, right?
How's the build coming? How's the car coming? What's it looking like for you?
Yeah, I mean, anybody that pays attention, like, it's pretty obvious, but it's been slow. It's been really rough, and I hate excuses. I mean, excuses are like assholes, right? Everybody's got
Everybody's
one.
got
So, yeah, it's taken longer than I would hope it would take, and it's been more expensive than I hoped it would be, and parts have been harder to get than I thought they would be. So I'm just trying to, factor all that stuff in and stay vigilant and do what I can when I can. And, it's still going to happen. I know some people have gotten a little concerned that, it's gotten mothballed or something like that, but that's not the case. I mean, it's still a priority for me. It just, and I try to think back too, that this is probably the appeal I have to a lot of people, is that they can relate, they can see themselves in what I'm doing, and that, everybody has time struggles and money struggles and things like that. We all want to watch kick-ass shit on Instagram, and, things happen right away, and cars sliding sideways and all that stuff. But the reality is I'm just like everybody that follows me, and I've got conflicts in life. So it's cool though. Like I'm super excited every day I work on the car. It gets more and more badass. And my wife sent me a picture of my shocks that I've been waiting for almost a year from ADS showed up, and
oh, nice.
I sent her a text, and I said, "Man, that's better than nudes," And it's like I don't know how I feel about that, but
well, let's schedule a weekend.
Cool.
The four of us will come up. I'll film. Jose will hold the flashlight. Matt will drink, and Casey will help you on the build.
That sounds about how
That's
our days
exactly
usually go.
100% how it will go. Just say the word. We'll come up. We'll stay at the house for the weekend. We'll camp out in the backyard.
I'll let you know what kind of beer I drink,
and we'll get as much done as we'll get as much done as you and Casey can get done in a weekend.
Yelled at for not shining the light in the right over here.
Let's do it, man. Let's get this thing on the road.
Yeah, a camp out. I know you talk about going to Pismo. A camp out in my front yard would be pretty epic. I'm down for it anytime you guys are.
Say the word, man. We'll come up. We'll come up. I just bought
so you know, I have a welder. It's a Harbor Freight.
It's a Vulcan.
It's a Vulcan 125. I'm pretty good with it,
And I just bought a whole bunch of Ryobi tools too. So I think between Matt and I
got a brass hammer, dude. I don't know if you heard about this brass hammer.
It's true. I didn't want to brag about Jose's hammer, but he does.
We need to start referring to the brass hammer as Mjolnir. So what's the next phase of the build? What are you working on next?
I'm sure again, anybody that's been watching, the suspension has been kicking my ass. It just, anything on the car that moves, it requires so much more fabrication because, you want maximum suspension travel. You want all the geometry to stay, correct during that travel. You don't want to sacrifice anything. And those are the times, when I work on that stuff that, I'm grateful that I have an opportunity to drive and race a different car, because had I not, I would have made a ton of compromises and said like, oh, this is good enough. This is close enough. But, when I was slamming the old car through the whoops in the middle of the desert, like the things you would do to get one more inch of travel, are unspeakable. So now I try to keep that in mind in the garage.
Totally agree.
Yep. That every, even if it requires making a bracket twice or, spending an extra day on it, if it means getting the suspension, perfect, that it's going to be worth it. So I'm really optimistic that once I'm done with the suspension and steering, that mounting, static things like seats and fuel tank and radiator, that I'll build a lot more speed with that stuff, because you get it in the right place, you build a mount that's, sufficient enough, and then you move on to the next thing. But the suspension has been, and I haven't built, I'm not some really seasoned builder that's done a lot of this stuff.
That's why Matt can help. I mean, he's got that welder. He's been an air conditioning guy for a long time.
Talking about seasoning. I know a lot about seasons.
A lot about seasoning.
Fall, summer, salt and pepper.
I was thinking
salt and pepper.
Teriyaki. Yeah,
got it all.
As far as parts, now that the suspension is, are there any other parts that they're waiting on that have long lead times that you're concerned about, or do you think everything's going to fall in place now?
Something I've been kind of saving some paychecks up for is I need to build both differentials, and a spool is certainly the cheapest, easiest way to go. But I also felt like that was one of the things holding me back at Desert Speed, having a spool in the front end. So I'd really like to put an ARB locker up front, but I honestly don't even know the lead time on that right now. And I think that locker, the competition version, costs over $2,500. So, I've got some trepidation about that. But now that I've got the shocks, I was definitely saving some room on my credit card to pay for those ADS bypasses.
Does Yukon have a comparable option?
They have a zip locker.
I know they make the zip locker, but I don't know if they made like a competition version.
They make a competition zip, and if I understand it correctly, the competition zip, if it loses air pressure, it defaults to lock. So I think I need to really put those two side by side and talk to some other racers and see what's what. A lot of guys, they're really hesitant to run anything that has a failure potential. It hammers, and I get it. A spool is one chunk of metal, so it either is stayed in one piece or it's broken. But
With
how many?
you're gonna have
Yeah,
airlines.
how
You're gonna
many
have airlines
parts
now.
doesn't
Yeah.
ARB have? And
You got a compressor that can go out.
Well, so
Yep.
let me ask
Solenoid.
if the locker was to default to locked position, how
You can't steer it.
that would be
Oh.
fun. that would
You'd
be
be
that would
fighting
make it
steering.
a,
Well, I was
that would make it a
front.
spool essentially.
Yeah, I was thinking about in the rear. So if a rear locker defaulted, it may slow you down in some high speed situations and turning. But I would rather have a locked rear differential when I got to the climbs, right?
Yeah. No, the old car was a spool front and rear, so it was always every tire. That's the way it was.
Okay.
Now with the Atlas transfer case, I could disengage the front end, which I would do in the desert just to try to make it a little bit more drivable. But you would also lose, acceleration because you're only powering the rear tires. But any speed above like 45 miles an hour in the desert, I would typically pull the front drive out. But if you had the option to run a spool rear and a selectable up front, I think that would be a pretty slick setup, because if you wanted a tighter turning radius, or you wanted, better handling at 75 miles an hour, you could unlock the front end and, it'd behave more like a traditional vehicle.
So the suspension, the differential, figuring out what you're going to do there.
Other than that, it's little stuff. It's nuts and bolts. It's exhaust tubing. It's, it's some plumbing. It's some wiring. It's, I've got a ton of stuff sitting on my shelves. I got a brand new Switch Pros RCR Force 12 to turn everything on. I took a lot of parts out of the old car that I have no problem reusing. The Corbeau seats, the Griffin radiator, the Griffin tranny cooler, all the PSC steering parts. I've got a ton of stuff that would certainly slow a build down as far as time and money, but I need to get that fabrication of the moving parts behind me so that I can, get onto some of the fun stuff. Like, you look at a lot of people that build something from scratch. One of the first things they do is they put a seat in it, right? So they can sit in it and make race car noises. Like, I haven't even gotten to that point because, I don't even have it on four wheels yet. So I'm really looking forward to getting the thing on four wheels so that I can, drool over it a little bit and put a seat in it and make noises.
Are you going to run the same graphics and everything, or do you have a new plan for that?
I've been working a sponsor pretty hard. I'm hoping that we can strike a deal come time the car's finished and there could be a new livery out there. But that's the business / marketing side of this is my least favorite part. It's certainly the hardest for somebody like me that just wants to, get down to the nuts and bolts and grinding and welding. But
Cody can help you with that, because what you got to do is you got to have some spreadsheets with a bunch of numbers. The numbers don't even have to make sense. The math, it could be fucking trivial. And then you put in like little clips of like logos. Put like a McDonald's logo in there. It doesn't fucking matter. It's just like association. Like, oh shit,
Yeah,
I don't know what McDonald's has to do with racing, but if you present that to your potential sponsors, they'll be like, oh wow, we got to get in on some of this shit.
Our most recent media kit, man, is firing on all cylinders. We've got it dialed
that's awesome.
in.
Yeah. I was actually telling somebody I'm out here with about Cody's skill set the other day, and I was like, I suck
me
so bad at the computer stuff.
Computer stuff. Okay.
I need a spreadsheet of every part that's on the car. I need, sort by vendor, sort by part number, sort by truck.
Pivot tables, dude. Oh my god.
If you guys could incorporate some of his spreadsheets into that firefighting, you guys can have that thing out like
we'd
half
have
the
fun.
time.
I'd be like, Zone 1, go.
You guys would
Broad
be,
squad, go.
you guys would be
Yeah.
fucking
What if,
lost. You'd be in fucking Palm Springs right now. any spreadsheet related to firefighting.
What if you know how like a lot of overlanders like to wrap their vehicles and they use like those topo maps,
Yeah.
you know, with contour lines? What if we wrap the car with like an Excel spreadsheet?
Yes.
Oh,
shit.
that's
Yeah.
nice. I could be into
Wow.
that.
Pie
And it
chart.
was
I
just
could
like
do
it
that.
was just like my sponsors or the vendors, you know, and
How
then
much they
like the part
contributed.
numbers and the prices, and basically the car would look like a catalog of
It's just
like
one
what
big
it's
pie
built
chart.
from.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Let's talk offline tomorrow, Kevin. Give me a
I
call
like
on
that.
your break. I'll get you taken care of one way or the other.
All right, let's collab. Hashtag I own it.
Yeah.
So-
hashtag-
Oh,
Nice.
shit.
Ah,
Wow.
You just
he
took
just,
that.
He just locked you into
Oh,
tomorrow.
damn it.
You know what?
He said I own it. He didn't say I own me. He doesn't.
That's not how I
That's not
heard
what
it.
I heard, dude.
I heard you work for him.
Apparently,
as a full-time
yes.
coordinator.
I'm gonna have to let my employer know that
Project-
I can't
project
do work.
coordinator.
And your skill set.
Yeah. Damn.
The
That was strong, Kevin. Good job, dude. Man, got him locked down.
the installation of all the other parts you were talking about that's like sitting there, are you not putting those in yet because they're going to be in the way of the other things you need to do, or are you just you're holding off to the end because you know you can knock those out quickly?
Yeah, and like I think a really good example is like the fuel cell, right? So 32 gallons of fuel times whatever 8 pounds or something. You know, that's a lot of weight. So where you put that in the car is very important. Low center of gravity because of all the crazy off camber stuff they make us do. So what I want to do is figure out how high my rear axle travels and how high those links travel. And then I want to bring that fuel cell as low as I can so that I only have, you know, half an inch of clearance, you know, from the rear end to the fuel cell. So I don't want to
All
just
I've got.
ambiguously
Half-inch clearance
mount
from the rear end
components.
is all I need. The fuel cell. Can you not hashtag I own this before I say it? So can you not make a fuel cell that's like only 6 inches tall and the entire length of the truck? So it's like a.
It sounds like I dare you to puncture this.
It's like
That's what it sounds like
It's
to
like
me.
the battery in an electric car, so it's all
Yeah.
like spread out. Can you do that?
No, so if you have big money, you can make custom fuel cells. The problem is they have to be rated or approved.
Oh.
So the guys that actually have a budget like me, you try to take a fuel cell off the shelf
Yeah.
and mount it in the car.
Just
But
a couple
you know,
5-gallon
only-
jerry cans
it's
mounted
only
to the
full
of,
side
like-
with a hose.
Extremely flammable fluid, you know. No, I'll
Right.
just make one myself. You know, I
yeah,
got
because
some-
we've got, you know, they've got a bladder inside of them, and
Well-
it has to be
I was
right.
going to ask about the whole like tech inspection thing. Like you have that. Like when is the last opportunity for you to get that done?
Oh, you
And-
could do it on the lake bed. Yeah, you can.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And is there a lot kind of are they a little more relaxed on that because you're a previous racer?
No. I guarantee there's some who you know. There could easily be that, but they did a year ago. They finally, it was in house and it was kind of good old boy. But they did finally a year ago turn that over to USAC. So now it's supposed to be a third party doing tech inspection, but there's some racers that are certified inspectors. So
I'm gonna
Dude, we need to get
I'm gonna throw
certified
this-
and be like,
yeah.
hold on a second. You get the official inspection certificate is the Trail Chaser sticker on the side. That's
Look,
how you
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
throw this out there because we've already like connected once. Is there a USAP inspector in the chat room? Potentially, they could help out.
Region 1.
Region 1, exactly.
So I know you're talking about like reusing the seats and all that stuff has to be like within a certain time frame, right?
yeah, seats are wide open, which is a little bit surprising if you think about it. I mean, you're not off base there at all, Casey, but there's nothing really there for seats other than the way they're mounted. But belts have to be within a certain time frame.
Your fire suit.
Helmets, your
helmet,
suit, your
Helmet,
shoes.
neck restraint, fire extinguishers.
Just-
There's a lot of
I'm-
things that do have dates
Every
on
time
them.
you guys start naming things, I feel like just jumping in gears, shoes, like just throwing things. I want to contribute.
I'm just
Yeah.
picturing when he's talking about all this stuff. I'm just picturing like the four of us showing up with a dirt bike helmet.
Not even that hard hat.
Yeah, be like, all right, let's go. We're gonna die.
you
That's
can-
fine.
You can, like the seatbelts aren't cheap, so you can send them back to the manufacturer if you want to get them, renewed. But like fire extinguishers are honestly pretty cheap, so most people just buy new ones. But yeah, there's some time sensitive stuff there.
Are they allowing those flare style fire extinguishers?
How much flare? Do you
The
have?
element extinguisher, yeah. So they just changed. I don't know if that's a 1-year-old rule or no, because I raced with it. So I think 2 years ago I have to have 3 fire extinguishers in the car,
Right.
and one of the 3 can be the element. I think is the way the rule book's written. Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, we have to have 1 accessible by driver and co-driver, and then the other 2 accessible from
Outside the
outside of
vehicle,
the
right?
car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you? What's your pit situation for this year? Has that been figured out and dialed in? Do you guys you have all the stuff you need for your pit?
You need a couple of
already?
Frontiers.
Yeah. A couple of fast mofos and Frontiers.
That's right.
One of those Frontiers is now running on 35s, by the way. But that's
Oh.
a conversation for another time.
Some people need
Really?
bigger wheels.
Really? Compensate much, do we?
Yes, as much as possible.
Yeah.
I have a little wiener.
Hey, why do you think I have a race car?
Yeah.
Yes. my
No,
penis is small.
I guess I don't think this is your intention, but I guess the segue could be, my truck's broken. So that's always been my lead chase vehicle that I hand the keys to my dad and tell him to,
Look, I'm gonna put up Duty Driven as the backup chase vehicle. I'm not even gonna say the Ranger or the shitty Frontiers. I'm saying
Yeah.
let's
Fuck off.
What the fuck?
I'm saying Mark's in the chat room. Mark,
Uh.
I'm throwing it up there right now. If the chase vehicle's not ready,
Mark just finished right now.
Yeah,
He's like, oh my God.
You're saying there's a chance.
I think Mark's fired up for the evening,
shit.
but I think he says, "Yeah, I'll do it." So we got you covered. If your chase vehicle's not up and running, we got another one for you, and that thing's got everything on it.
Yeah,
Dude,
it literally
Yeah.
has a shop air hose.
yeah,
in
it's
it.
got an air hose. It's got
Yeah, it's got
And we
it's
know
got
it
a bed.
jumps.
It's got a bed for me to take a nap.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's-
exactly.
it's got
Yep.
it
A
all.
tent. It's got a tent.
It's got a tent on it,
yeah.
dude.
It's so
Are
there's
you
your,
Hammertown Heights Estates again? that's where we're trying. Yeah, one day we're gonna get there.
Yeah. Well, you guys have always been afraid of Hammertown, the
Yes.
Thunderdome.
I'm still afraid of that.
But
Supposedly we
But
were
that's
there
not-
last year, but I don't
I
really
don't
remember.
remember any of it.
People say they saw me. And
Yeah, dude. I mean, there's
Yeah.
pictures of me
I,
there, but
I think I saw you guys too right before I broke my truck. So
Dad, that we had nothing to do with that.
No.
that was
you
a
can't-
Ford thing, bro.
You can't prove it.
yeah.
So I mean, how many we're in September, October, November, December, January, February? So 5 months, a little less than 5 months.
Yeah, I'm not in a situation I wanted to be in. I was really hoping, there'd be something in the fall that I could use the car for and give it some shakedown. But I'm at the mercy of this lovely California fire season and everything else. So I'm gonna keep working on the car, and I'm not gonna worry about the truck, which is completely ass backward, priorities, because I need my truck almost every day of my life. But you can't race that thing. You got to race a race car. So I'm gonna keep working on the race car, and I know that whether it's Mark or friends like you guys or whatever, that if I was able to get a race car done for Hammers, I know there'd be people lining up to help.
Yeah, 100%. You've got enough of a connection with the community to where you're like, all right, I need 25 people for the weekend. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
all right, let's go.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, that still blows me away. That people just think what I'm doing is cool, because I every day that
It is cool.
every
Yeah, it
day
is.
that I max out,
They're right,
yeah,
sir.
every day that I max out my credit card or turn down like
We appreciate it.
awesome, I know, an awesome weather beach day with my wife. Like I just think like, man,
Look, I'm just saying,
stupid,
if
but-
your wife wants to go on an awesome weather beach day, I'm sure there are people that will take her. I'm sure she just puts the invite out there just so she's not alone. She'll be fine.
Beach
Yeah.
is overrated, dude.
Well, dude, you're the closest thing to a superhero in the real world that we've got. I mean, a firefighter race car driver. It's like, how do you beat that? I mean, you're definitely not an air conditioning podcaster. That's for sure. And there's two opposite ends of the spectrum.
I think the race car needs a cape.
Yeah.
Mm.
We do have I do have a cool idea to make it fun as a spectator, that I can't really talk about. But
He's
I've
gonna
been
put a unicorn on the hood like a hood ornament.
no, we've got a way. We've got an idea to make the car a little bit more interactive with people that are on the race course. So, but I know.
Okay.
You need to do like
Yes.
one of those True Fire paint jobs.
Is,
on
is,
that.
No,
this, is this a
that
cannon
would be
that shoots
badass.
beer?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's one
the
of those
side?
scrolling.
Yes, the scrolling things in
Yeah.
back where you can flip people off as you
Yeah.
go by.
Yeah.
I like the beer cannon idea better. You get the fans on your side real quick.
Driving
No,
through
I
the
mean,
course. Yeah.
Seriously,
the
like
extra
I,
weight,
I
though.
feel like there's the guy. He's called the guy with the speakers, John Webb, and he's kind of my idol out there because he's just a garage dude. But where everybody would mount a bar, he mounted 4 Wake Tower boat speakers years ago. He just plays music outboard, towards the crowd, and it's the coolest thing, So I'm like, well, why not do more things like that?
Dude,
that
you
at
should
least-
put so
He's cranking Taylor Swift, though.
no. Speakers.
It's all like, dude, it's all yacht rock.
No speakers, but hooked up to the in cab microphone with him and his co-driver be like, no, dumbass, I said turn left, and we can hear them yelling at each other through the course.
Yeah, I've often thought about because we have the siren that's in our car it's essentially a cop car siren, and I know there's a way through that module and that speaker to add a PA.
Mm-hmm.
And
Just-
it would be it would be so awesome, to be like, hey, you in the blue shirt, throw me that beer, or whatever.
Just
It's
raining.
Show me your boobs.
Oh,
Yeah.
beer
Show me
raining
them
down.
boobies.
that same
Yeah,
guy. Show me your.
You in the blue shirt.
I would do it.
Beer.
I would do it. I would do it.
Hey, you in the trail chaser shirt. Show me those boobs.
Yeah, I'd love to, because I've spent more time as a spectator than a driver, and honestly, a lot of cars blur together and things get old and they get boring and all that. So how fun would it be if you were there on the sidelines with your friends and some car came by and it was mildly interactive in some way, just
It stopped for a few minutes and
The
drank
Yeah.
a couple of beers and then high-fived you and took off and
The
got back
entire
into the
course,
race.
the entire course, he's playing Rick Astley. Never gonna give you
No.
the whole time, all the way. A Rick Astley playlist. No, or
Probably
how
drive off
about
the
Ace of
cliff.
Base? An Ace of Base playlist all the way around.
You'd have to remind me of
I saw the sign.
no.
I get knocked down.
No,
When I get up again.
Chumbawamba.
There you go.
That's the
Yeah.
story of my life. Yeah. Do you remember? Anyway,
How is that the story
it's
of your life?
that's a line from
Wait
a
a
movie.
minute. Hold on, guys. That's the name of the episode.
Chumbawamba.
Chumbawamba story of my life.
No,
Cody.
it's the line from a movie. The movie's called Fired Up, and there's a douchebag in there that listens to Chumbawamba, and he says, "This is the theme song of my life." It's pretty funny.
Tim in the chat room said he should have the Trail Chasers podcast playing on a loop
Ooh.
as you're racing.
If there was a way
do
to
that.
no,
Yeah.
okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're somehow gonna live stream the race. We're gonna like play by play of Kevin Jones as he's driving the course, and he'll be broadcasting it, and we'll be talking to people.
We'll be talking about the race when he's elsewhere on the track.
Yes.
Those people will hear us not
Yes.
talking about him because
No,
he's
no, no.
elsewhere.
We're going to be talking
we gotta
about
be
him.
chasing him.
We're going
We gotta
to
be
be
chasing
following on the live stream, we're going to get a helicopter.
Okay.
We're going to get a helicopter.
Please, let's not get
Jeff,
any drones. Somebody
Jeff.
else here would have to get a drone.
Jeff, can you dispatch us a helicopter from the Broad Squad? And then we'll get a helicopter to film him, and then we'll broadcast where he's at, and we'll make fun of him the entire time.
We just gotta follow him on the course.
Yeah,
So-
In the Nissan?
right behind him.
Yeah.
Dude.
Have you guys been following this Starlink stuff?
Yeah.
I haven't.
Casey's in. He's nodding already. So I watched Bryce Menzies in Vegas to Reno, the trophy truck,
Yeah, I
the
saw
Red
that
Bull
too.
trophy truck, and they were calling it a blended network. So they were using their Starlink that they mounted on the roof of the truck, and in combination with 2 cell carriers, if I understand it right, and they live streamed 3 cameras from the truck for all 500 miles of Vegas to Reno, and it
Wow.
was
That's pretty badass. Dude.
awesome.
Mhm.
So I know that that's going to trickle down and that ability is going
Oh
to
yeah, dude.
be available. So like literally once my car produces a Wi-Fi signal, like it could be on the trail, it could be on the Trail Chasers channel,
We're
YouTube
doing
channel
it.
live.
We're doing it.
And you guys could do your like movie science theater. you know,
Yes.
Oh my God. Look,
Ad
I'll
lib
just
in the
take some.
background.
Hey, you already
I'll
said
just
it,
take
right?
some GoPro footage. Like at this point, you're
No.
talking about satellites and stuff.
No takey
His
backsies.
co-driver,
Yeah.
his co-driver's in the seat with a
Yeah.
Facebook Live, like trying to film.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on. Look, that Starlink plan sounds like we got to get Jeff and what's the Tesla guy and a whole bunch of people
Elon.
involved. Like,
Jeff already said he's got a Firehawk.
He's sending a
Broad
Firehawk.
Squad on the way.
Oh,
okay,
done.
he's got a direct line to what's his name?
Elon.
Yeah, to Mr. Musk.
Yeah.
Bill Gates.
Yep.
Whatever.
So
I'm sure he has satellites too, Jose.
Are you
He has them
thinking
all.
you're going to have the ability to test run the truck late fall before Hammers?
I mean, if it's consistent with anything I've done before, it's no.
No.
You're gonna be like tightening the last bolt like, the day
Yeah.
before the race.
Yeah. I mean, I just had this conversation with some other racers the other day. It's like a lot of people feel you shouldn't pre-run any race car because it's as dialed as it's ever going to be. But for me, the car's never even been driven before the race, so I have to pre-run in it just to shake stuff down.
Just
So
the hose clamp that isn't tight. I mean, that's
Yep.
that could ruin everything, right? It's something that simple, can be so devastating. So when is Hammers is it the 5th, the 7th? When is it the actual date?
I just always put it kind of as the first week of February.
Yeah.
But honestly, for the racers, it always starts a couple days at the end of January too. But,
I mean is that also an option where if you don't get to pre-run in November, December, you get out 2 weeks before the race and do your shakedown in the valley?
yeah, they actually did something. They always kept the course really tight until essentially race week, and then they released it. But this last time, they've always done, they call it the live show, and it's early January, I want to say. And this last year, Dave Cole did something very unconventional, and he spun the camera around and he showed the screen of his laptop, and on it was the race course.
Oh,
So a lot of guys froze the video,
screenshot.
enhance, screenshot, and they started to figure it out. So if he's going to do that type of stuff in the future or this year, there's a significant advantage to being ready to go pre-run, the day after the live show airs. And then, maybe you pre-run a couple days in early mid-January, and then you go home, you regroup, you get everything ready, and then you come back for the race. Which, I mean, I like it from the fact that might make my life easier. I hate it from the fact that favors the big money guys that have that much more time off.
Yeah.
And should something go wrong,
That's
if
what I
you've
was
got
gonna
the
say.
money and the material and the resources, you can fix it right there. Whereas if
Right.
something goes wrong,
Yeah.
I got to order a whole new X,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I could even be placed in maybe the semi-fortunate category in that I live in California. Like I could go out there, but if you're the guy in Indiana and you just saw like a month ahead of time that there was like a little bit of course info leaked, you'd kind of be right.
SOL, dude.
Yeah, what the F,
Yeah.
So
And the Hammers is February 2nd through the 11th of
There you
2023. So
yeah.
more than likely 8, 9, 10, and 11, we will be out there for our annual trip.
What day does it say the 4800 class runs?
One of those days between the 2nd and the 11th. I don't know.
The other really dumb idea I have is to maybe race the motorcycle race.
Oh man,
That's what you've
Why
been
would you
training
do
for.
that, dude?
That's what you've been training for.
I don't know. Yeah,
If it's before your 4800 class, I would say no.
Yeah, do
well,
it
they're
after.
If
talking
it's
about they're talking about
after-
doing it like more than a week before.
I
but
thought I heard
it
something
takes
about
longer than a week for a broken arm to heal, dude.
Yeah,
A
that's
broken
it.
collarbone. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's like I agree with Casey. If it's after, you break whatever you want. But if you go all this time for this year to build up this
build
truck,
that car.
and I
Yeah.
have to race it for you because you're in a cast, you're not going to be happy. No one's going to be happy but me. That's the only
You know what? I
viable
take it back.
solution.
Go ahead and run that
Yeah,
race.
actually, you should race that. Let me get you a bike.
A lot of
And
mistakes
then
were made.
we,
if
we
Cody's
got you. We
driving
got
your
you. We
car.
got you covered in case you can't run that car.
I'd be super disappointed if he picked you to race the car. By the way, I'm sure he has other options.
Because
Like
he
I
knows
said.
I can handle the Ford.
Like I said,
The Ranger. I can handle the power of a Ranger. He knows I can handle that Ultra 4.
a lot of mistakes
Yeah,
were made
it's-
if Cody's driving.
Exactly.
I message a handful of other car builders and racers and stuff, and they talk about, like, oh, we're trying to have this car out there. I'm like, well, hey, if it needs a driver, let me know. And it's weird. Nobody ever gets back to me. So,
I think Casey offered his physical body to you to be a co-driver last year. I don't think you guys ever finished that conversation.
yeah.
What does that mean? I
Uh,
offered
He
you.
literally
I offered you my
he
physical body.
literally said, you can have all of this. And he said, I don't want any of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And then I
What,
tried to call him that next week, and it was like, your number has been blocked from this caller.
Like the ongoing build, and you're really good. We've talked about this before. Really good about posting and engaging and all that on social and with the build process on Instagram and stuff. Does that make it any harder or easier to do what you're doing?
It's a double-edged sword because I don't know what I'm doing. It helps when somebody sees me do something that is, I'm headed down the wrong path, because they'll message me, midnight or the next day or whatever, and they'll be like, hey, you need to take another look at that, or you're missing something here or there, and that's huge for me, because let's just say you carried down your wrong road, and you just showed up at Hammers, and then you realize the hard way that that plus the 6 steps after it were all for naught. So I really appreciate that side of it, and the people that are more experienced than me as far as builders and drivers, and when they comment on that. But it does take a considerable amount of time to stop what you're doing, pick up a camera, talk to it, show things. And then you incite all the DMs, and some are just words of encouragement, which are awesome. And, that makes me want to stay up later every night. And then some are, kind of keyboard warrior, and, it's all in there. But I found it more rewarding than not. And as long as the scales tip that direction, I'll certainly keep doing it. It has immeasurable marketing value, and that's what's really hard to put into play. Is like, ADS this was a shock that they prototyped last year, and they only made 5 production sets, and they agreed to sell me one of those 5 production sets, and I have to attribute that to all the work put into social media, not the work that I put into races, because I just don't race as much as the guys with money, and I don't finish as high as the guys with money. But, I think in the community of broke ass off-roaders and want to be race car guys, I feel like my name is
No.
a little bit more normal.
We are all wannabe race car drivers. You're an actual
You're
race car
actually
driver.
good.
Like there's a very large gap between us, the wannabes, and what you actually do.
Yeah. He's like,
I don't know,
I put
man.
my pants on just like everyone else. It's just that once my pants are on, I
They're
race
fancy
cars.
pants.
I've seen Matt's dust in the distance. He's got potential for sure.
Oh
no.
my! You guys heard that? Did you
Kevin.
guys hear that?
Kevin,
Did you hear
why
that?
would you say that, dude? We're never.
Oh,
For the
this is-
rest
you
of
know
our
what? For the-
lives,
the
we're gonna have to
three-
hear about how Kevin Jones thinks I can race.
yeah.
Kevin says I
Kevin
can
says
race.
I can
The
race.
3
Kevin's-
years
Yeah.
I've
Kevin's
been on
worried
this,
about me.
I've been on this podcast.
Yeah, you
have
wish you said
finally-
that about you.
Finally paid off. Okay, let's send
You
this
ruined
to the,
everything,
to the
Kevin.
Podcast Hall of Fame.
No, I'm gonna edit that part out. I'm gonna edit
That's the
that
one part that
out.
gets edited.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Finally.
edit that part out for sure. Well, what do you need next, man? What do you need? What do you need from the community? What do you need from us? What do you need in general to keep this thing going and get you on the track?
If everybody could be a little bit more fire conscious and not start these fires all over the
I
state.
haven't started any
really
fires
cool.
this year yet.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I could use a few less fires in my life. I don't get home as often as I like to. That's
Number
if I could figure out how to change careers and be home every night, I think I would. This is a pretty, cool gig or whatever, and I know a lot of people work real hard to get where I'm at, but
it's
You know,
just it's a
not
job
without-
just like everybody else.
Yeah.
Whether you're fighting fires or slinging ductwork, like you still have to work, and it still takes you away from the fun things in life that you want to do. So I mean, it's only so much. Are you based on your known schedule today? Do you feel comfortable with the progress of the build to get to where you need to be?
no.
No.
Yeah, no, I'd prefer to have much more money and much more time off, but that's again, I always go back to, like, I mean, I am just like everybody else that stares at the internet or social media. I look at the guys that are doing more than me and I'm jealous. Like that's just human nature. I'm sure we all do it. We look at cool people with cool shit and we want to be more like them. And you have to find a way to, turn that jealousy into motivation to just push harder. So, there's a lot of nights that I just want to go to bed, and the more you do that, the more you're just going to be jealous of the successful people, right? So there's a guy, Adam Dueling. He does all this really cool sheet metal stuff, and he's got this slogan that he turns into like a sign that you can buy, and it's the harder I work, the luckier I get.
Yeah.
I think it's
That's
awesome. That's it right there. So everything I want in life, I have to work for. So when I, the days I am home, I have to work hard on being a good family man, husband, and father, and then I also have to, do the same if I want to be a race car driver again someday.
You'll get there, dude. Like I said, we're gonna plan our schedule, come up for a long weekend, and build
the
a car for you.
Pismo
And
camp out.
help-
And we'll
Help you build the car.
Yeah.
You might digress, actually.
yeah.
Yeah.
What,
Matt, get
I'm
the
now
f- get
further
the
behind
fuck away-
schedule than I was before they got here.
Matt, get the fuck away from my tools.
What would
Stay the hell away from my...
what would happen is heuld get to mile 12 and something would blow up and he'd be like, "Fucking Cody wired that."
That's right.
My control issues are super deep seated. I mean, a lot of people, contact me and they're like, "Oh, I'd love to come help," and I'm pretty diplomatic about the way I tell them no, but it's so hard for me to let.
I will pay you to not come help.
If I send you some stickers,
I'll
would you
send
stay
you a
home?
hat. You stay home.
Yeah.
What did you guys figure out your little fall festival, or what are we doing? When are we going wheeling? What are we doing?
That's what we're calling it for sure from now on. That's what we're calling it.
Our fun little fall festival. the Kevin Jones
We're
Fun
gonna
Little
go
Fall
trick or
Festival.
treating.
Yes, as of yesterday, we landed on October 7th, 8th, and 9th in Ocotillo Wells.
Okay.
I'm traveling.
Well, now you told all 12 listeners.
Yeah, I'm traveling. I'm traveling that week with the expectation I'll be back in town on Thursday the 6th. So I will be sometime in the next few days sending out notifications to people like on the Patreon list. We'll put some registration together, figure all that stuff out. We kind of mapped out a plan. So
We mapped it out. It's just
Yeah.
whether we stick to it or not. You know.
so yes, so right now October 7, 8, and 9 is our expedition.
Mark said the winter
Our
gummy,
fall festival.
the winter
Fall
gummy
fest-
bear roundup. Oh man, that was good.
Oh,
I miss that guy, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to top.
That dude. Man, I do miss that guy.
he was a good guy.
He really was.
all
man.
of that stuff that happened, I was already asleep. Like I didn't experience any of it.
Oh,
You
so
guys had to
good.
tell me about it. I was already asleep. So, you know,
Yeah, me too.
It was the best time I ever had with camping with Jose. You know.
yeah. Are you?
So
are
is
you
that
gonna-
one? Is Ocotillo? Is it going to be like a base camp style one, or?
No. As of right now, it's a start, wheel, camp.
But that can
Okay.
change.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why? Do you have a preference?
No,
Our
I
fun
just
little fall festival is fluid.
I'm just
Yeah.
trying to think
Just
of.
like your day
I'm
job,
trying
bro.
to
We
think
gotta
of
stay
what.
fluid.
Trying to think of what broken piece of junk I got that
Bring
I
that,
could bring.
bring that badass Suzuki.
I was gonna
Dude.
say.
Yeah, I can't hang. I can't hang with
I-
the leader of that thing, but it's a lot of fun.
I think I know Tim can recommend someplace you can rent a Tacoma with a tent.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Well, here's what I think you should do.
Wait. Let's discuss that. How would that come back in comparison to how Tim brought it back if Kevin ran
Dude,
it?
I think any
Oh
condition
my
would be
God.
better than
It
how
would be
Tim
better?
delivered it.
Yeah.
Than
Oh
how
yeah.
Tim delivered it? Yes.
Kevin knows how to drive.
Well, I know,
But Tim just went that direction really fast.
He'll do more in it, and it'll be damaged less.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
I think
I've messed up a rental or two in my day.
I
I-
bet.
Not like Tim.
Yeah, that thing.
is Mark still in the chat room? Because I think what should happen is you should come down and you should drive the duty driven rig all weekend as a test to see if it's worthy for your chase rig. Mark.
I like Abby too much to do that.
Yeah, I think Mark would have to leave Abby at home for that one.
Yeah.
She was.
As mad as I am, I didn't get invited to the wedding. I still like that.
Oh, wow, Mark.
Whoa.
That's
salty
Shots
right
fired.
there.
Yeah.
That's salty right there. So are you going to come down for that trip?
I'd love to.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully you guys have room or whatever. I know. I appreciate how you have to tighten up the groups and stuff, but I've been paying attention. I've been listening to the episodes, so.
Good. We'll get it. We'll
I
get it.
apologize for
We'll get it figured
for
out.
that.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you shouldn't be. Nobody should be.
Yeah. Well, when you're in Hemet and you're walking around
Do
picking
as
up
the
crack
Hemet-
pipe, you might as well
Hematotians do.
That's sad.
take.
When you're in Hemet, you should listen to the Trailblazer podcast.
Yeah, I mean-
that's a new T-shirt. The official podcast of Hemet.
While in Hemet.
Yes.
While Hemet is burning, listen to the Trail Chaser podcast.
Look, when you're sitting on the corner looking for something to eat, smoking your crack pipe, go ahead and listen to the Trail Chaser podcast.
Well, shit, dude. Look, I appreciate you not only fighting fires, but jumping on here and doing a quick impromptu interview and catch up, and the fact that you're a superhero and you still hang out with us and let us talk to you, and we don't have a lot of superheroes in our lives, so we gotta make sure we foster this relationship, because when Armageddon happens, you're the first one we're gonna call.
That's a really nice way of saying oh, we don't have a guest we actually want to talk to tonight. Let's just call Kevin. Like,
That's exactly how the conversation went. I was like,
Yeah.
we didn't have a guest
who
for
would
tonight.
talk to us tonight?
Yes.
Well, Kevin's stuck in Hemet. I mean, he'll probably.
That's exactly what Matt said. Hey, I was like, look, we don't have a guest tonight. Who do you think we can get on right away? He's like, let me see if Kevin's available.
Yeah. How long, Matt, did that take me to respond?
Okay, I was shocked. I thought I'm going to send this. I'm going to throw it out to Kevin. Maybe by the time
Yes.
maybe we can get him on next week or something. Like 10 seconds? Like,
Yeah,
oh, shit.
I was foolishly optimistic. You were like ordering an Uber to like get me the hell out of here or something. But
Dude,
you know.
I will come pick you up. I told you. I invited you to the house. You could swim in the pool. Say the word, dude.
Dude, he works
I
from
know.
home. He'll come get him. He'll come get you. I say
Okay.
that with
Actually, you know
like
what?
he actually will.
just stay in
Like that's
Hemet,
what I'm
dude.
saying.
I'll
Yeah.
come pick you up. We'll go to
Wait.
lunch.
You know, he'll show
I
you some
know we got these weird
spreadsheets.
rules, like
Just
you
show
know
you
we're at
spreadsheets.
work or something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
Lame.
you're technically on the clock, right?
Yeah,
For 24 hours straight or whatever it is.
yeah. We have to be. Should this thing cause problems, we have to be available and we are at their disposal until we go home. So
Sounds like a marriage. You're just at their disposal until they're done with you.
Damn.
mhm.
Make
I
sure
was talking about your marriage more than anything.
you got to preface that shit first because that's pretty dark right there. Sorry, Tammy.
Yeah, dude,
Shit. All right, dude. Look, hey, I'll send you some info after this about the upcoming trip, and we'll connect.
Sweet.
You know, anything we can do to help, anything that you need that you think we can do for you, please do not hesitate to ask, man. We love watching you race and do all the things that you're doing, and we want to help in any way. So we will be out there for sure. For hammers. So
Awesome.
You know, if you want some Harbor Freight welding and
High end Harbor Freight welding. I got
Yeah.
that thing dialed in pretty good.
yeah. So yeah,
Offer still on the table.
yeah.
Yeah.
Casey's
Donation.
still on the table, 100%. But we'll connect in the next few days. And do you think you're going to be gone back up home tomorrow?
I hope I go home tomorrow. Otherwise, I might have an accident.
Oh.
No, I would think we go home tomorrow, or worst case, we go to another fire. But I don't know. Like I said, it's up to Jeff. I think at this point,
All right,
right?
Yeah. What the fuck, Jeff?
Come on,
Yeah,
Jeff.
we know Jeff does the ordering. Does he also do the canceling?
That's right. That's right.
Different department.
So they're gonna pull
No,
Kevin off to the side tomorrow. They're gonna be like, the strangest thing happened at 8:00 last night. We're all going home.
Yeah, we got a request for the Broad Squad to go home. So I don't.
You guys are needed down the
By-
street from your house.
By helicopter. It's never happened before.
No, I appreciate you guys. I always enjoy your company. I can't wait to go wheeling with you again. And congratulations, Casey, on the baby. It's awesome,
Thank
dude.
you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, he's doing it. Baby's still alive. I mean, that's something. It's been a week and a half or so.
Wow.
I mean, I think the over under.
I haven't slept in like 4 days, man.
he's beating the odds at this point. The over under was pretty bad.
Oh shit.
So
Yeah, let's get together and drink some beer.
all right, man. Thank
Done.
you so much, dude. You have a great night.
All right, you guys too.
Bye.
Later, Kev.
Oh,
Oh, he just hung up.
no, I figured because we didn't do the
Yeah,
pre-talk,
yeah.
but I figured he'd just hang up. Love that guy. Love hanging out with that guy, talking to that guy. If you are not already following Kevin Jones, please go to Ultra4 Jones on Instagram. Follow all his stuff. He's a true
He's
everyman.
the best.
Yeah, every man working his ass off and trying to be a race car driver and living the dream. So yeah, he's awesome sauce.
He's better than awesome sauce. I mean,
What's
awesome
better than
sauce.
awesome sauce?
Anything,
Okay.
any other fucking sauce, like barbecue sauce, ranch sauce, like ketchup. Fuck.
So the we're gonna end it here. We did talk about the October trip. We'll put together some details on that. Put it up.
The fun little fall festival.
The fun little fall festival, Gummy Bear Roundup. And how am I going to fit all of that on a T-shirt? Fun little Falls Festival gummy bear.
You got to be a
roundup.
plus size guy like me.
Did it fit it all?
Yeah.
And
Real small lettering.
And for sure, King of the Hammers, regardless of anything else going on. That's our plan right now. Derek is saying the wife is way better than Kevin, and I will
The wife?
I don't know which wife he's talking about, so we'll leave that open ended. But Derek, maybe we should get Derek. It sounds like Derek has information. Maybe we need to get Derek on to spill the beans on Kevin. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us in the chat room. We had a very lively group tonight. A lot of conversation. We appreciate it. We will put together some details for the October run, and we'll talk to you guys next week.